Shit. Come on. Am I ever gonna start one of these without completely messing up? Oh, let's just double check. I am streaming right now, right? Wait, hello? Okay, there we go. We are officially live. Hold on. There we go. Yo, everyone. Hey. Thorin Caster here. Bouncer, Crimson Sacrifice, so on and so forth. I'm currently on the train. And, I don't know. I just kind of want to talk. Well, as we all know, I'm super nostalgic. Usually think about things about the past quite often. But, I'm also really... I was gonna say a fan of cause and effect, but I don't know if that's just... I don't know, that sounds kind of weird. I really like connecting the dots and seeing how the past affects the present, I guess. And I was just kind of... phone. I was just kind of wondering about how other people felt about that kind of stuff, you know? It's kind of a weird, kind of a heavy topic right now. I just wanted to talk about things like childhood and... Hello, Onracker? Hello, hi! Welcome to the stream. Welcome to your regularly unscheduled save point, which is kind of a Friday show where I just talk about whatever. Yo, Red, hey, wah yourself. Hi, I just wanted to kind of have a talk while I was kind of on my way to work. It's pretty late. You don't want to know what I don't want to know what your childhood was like. You know, feel free. Feel free. Yo, hungry? What's up? Hey. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to talk about, you know, the past and how it kind of connects to the future and how it kind of has, like, our childhoods have kind of molded us into the people we are today, right? Neglected most of the time. I get that. I feel that, my guy. You still am now. Well, you know, it's kind of the I want to get to that, right? Like how we laugh at kind of stuff like that years later, even though it kind of still affects us. Lucky. Let's not turn this into a contest, guys. I just wanted to kind of go over stuff. And maybe think about how we can move forward from our weird past. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, how do we start this off? That's such a hard thing to do, starting off talking about the start. I guess a good way to begin would be... Yo! At least you still have both your parents. You said neglect. Your parents would go on dates and leave us at home with your 8-year-old brother. Like, okay, we can start there, right? He would make macaroni. Like, we can start there, actually. Like, some, you know, parents are parents. Parents, you know, I know people have bad parents. I know people have good parents. If you have good parents or bad parents, I feel like it's still okay to say that our parents messed us up, you know? Like, obviously, you can't blame all of your problems on other people, but like, it's all the little things that like just kind of add up when you think about it. Like, anything that they were raised to believe, you kind of get the you get the tail end of, you know, before anything changes to change their perspective. And some of it kind of sticks with you and causes problems in the long run, and it's weird. Okay, I guess I could start off with like a yeah, let's start off with an example. Um, my parents were very, let's say, what's the word? Not, no, not, it is like, they were very focused on, not results, practicality. They were practical, I guess. They didn't really see any, I mean, they're still around, but they don't really see any value in creative endeavors. It's always, hey, Soren's gonna be making us money in the end when we're old and tired. And because of that, we had like a music program in school that I really wanted to be a part of. I would kind of like express interest to my teachers, to my classmates when I was super young, that I would want to learn how to play an instrument and be kind of, you know, inclined to stuff like that. But, you know, my parents didn't really see a point in it. Or, you know, they thought it would take away from my actual classes. And they kind of didn't want me to attend anything relating to like learning an instrument or something like that. And as a result, I just never did. And I don't, you know, I can't really say that I would have been good at playing instruments or learning music or so on and so forth. But I don't know. It's weird to have that door closed for me. Your parents were the opposite. They told me to do whatever makes you happy. Let me guess. And that kind of gave you, well, I don't want to like take an assumption, but I assume that that would give you a lot of like anxiousness about having so many options. Unless that wasn't the case. Anraker? Sorry. It's early. I don't know what to, I'm like having trouble reading. There's a bit of a glare on the screen, if you guys can say. Yeah, pretty much. It's so weird, like, I've always thought having a lot of freedom would be so fulfilling, but hearing the exact opposite, that's also kind of scary. My sympathies. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's important to really still don't know what you want to do so much. Oh wait, you still don't know what you want to do. There's so much you want to do, but nothing you want to do makes enough money to live. Yeah. It's rough. We all wanted, like, I feel like a lot of us when we were younger wanted to pursue kind of our dream jobs, our creative endeavors. Be it as ambitious as wanting to be an astronaut, or as humble as, like, I don't know, let's say wanting to be an animator or get a job in the creative fields. And then reality kind of shows up and oof. Yo! I call you Octa all the time, but I'm pretty sure you wanted me to call you Ari. Sorry. I think I just remembered that. Welcome. You just want to entertain people. You want to be a clown for a while. That's such a hard thing to be in, like, this modern day and age, considering, you know, clowns are usually associated with fear, which is, you know, I've heard a lot of documentaries about clowns and how they function in this modern day and age, and it's rough. It's rough when, like, society changes around you. Oh, there's a word, society. I said it. He said the thing. Yo. Anyway. Yeah. I feel you, man. I always thought I was gonna grow up and get a job in animation of some sort. Like, I always thought, you know, getting a job in video games was maybe a bit like... I knew in the back of my head that it was not as comfy or, like, as laid back or as, you know, the childish dream that... Like, I always knew it was a dream. Like, you don't actually just play video games all the time. You have to actually work and, you know, work with others and be part of a team and so on. But I feel like when I thought about animation, I always thought I'd just be making my own thing. And no, it's basically the same. Should you say what your childhood was like? Because it sounds like a Higurashi subplot. Feel free to keep to yourself if you want to, Red. We're just kind of shooting the shit. I just wanted, you know, an open channel to talk about this kind of stuff. But if you deem it to, you know, to whatever, too sad, to whatever, feel free, or too personal, really. Just feel free to keep that. Like, or speak in generals. We don't need to get into the gritty details about everything that's happened when we were younger. But we can at least, like, share our feelings and how that kind of stuff has affected us. But yeah, my, I wanted to be an animator so long ago, but I don't know. I want to say I didn't get a lot of support from my parents, but hey, Lily, yo, what's up? You don't really mind sharing? Just feels like a bit much. Hello. Kind of talking about childhoods, parents, just basically anything in the past that affected us into becoming who we are now, and you know, bit of, you know, it can be as heavy or as light as we want it to be. Do we need a hug? I think we could all do for a hug, really. But yeah, I wanted to be an animator, and that didn't, you know, work out. I didn't actually, you know... Your child is why you're the mom friend? Is it? I guess, well, you know, not everything from our childhood actually affects who we become in the long run. I think it is giving my parents way too much credit to say that they are who I am today, right? Yeah, hugs sound about nice. I don't even remember the last time I had a hug. Maybe that's too sad. You wanted to be an ice skater. That's a tough one. That's a lot of, like... I feel like whenever I hear something like that, it reminds me of, like, when people wanted to be ballerinas. Because they thought it was, you know, very graceful, very pretty, very elegant. And it is, but it's also a lot of hard work to get there. Like, a lot of grueling, like, training sessions and so on and so forth. I mean, you can give your parents credit for who you are today, because who you are today is no one. You only get hugs from your grandmother, and usually 1 or 2 a year. Ugh. Like, I don't I don't want to say that you guys are. I obviously want to say that you guys are more than what you say you are, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't think of those. I didn't think those same thoughts, and I think about someone saying, "No, you're so much more. You're so much better than nothing," and it helps, but it's kind of a hard thing to take to heart. You weren't allowed because women shouldn't show skin as per traditional Muslim values and your father. Oh, I see. That's such. See, I didn't even take cultural values into the equation. So sorry, Lily. I bit my tongue. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Lily. It's not who you are. It's a part of your molding into yourself. Yeah. I really like that phrase. I really like that. I really like that statement. To let it become you is dangerous, and you wouldn't recommend. Well, at the very least, I'll take that to heart. Thank you, Lily. Yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, cultural values in terms of my family, and I don't know, maybe that came into play when no, I don't really know. Like, we are definitely more than okay. Here's like a thought I've been thinking about a long time, right? And I don't really know if there's much basis towards it. Honestly, the truth. As someone who has cried... Bone, please. As someone who's cried and suffered and finally gotten into therapy, he refused to think otherwise. I'm very happy for you, Lily. I feel like therapy is kind of... It's not the end goal. It's obviously... It's a long process. But I'm really happy that you've managed to get the help you deserve. Like, I guess that's a cultural thing. I don't really know. Well, I don't really know if it's specific to my culture or anything, but my family is very much. If you want therapy, if you seek out therapy, something is wrong with you. And you know what? Yes, clearly, I am seeking out help. Thank you. But they obviously mean it in the, oh, they're going crazy, and it's like, and you think everyone in your family needs therapy? Oh God, we could get into that. Sorry, phone is so rude. No, it's fine, Lily. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you've said so far. Thank you. Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. Yo. So just be like, no typing for you. I do that all the time. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like our parents, love them, hate them, do what I can't speak for everyone. Everyone has different opinions on, or different feelings, different experiences about who they were raised by. You honestly just came to check in on me. I thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you here. You can't say the same. Your parents, your dad specifically, broke you so much you can't be fixed, and you're just a much worse person because of it. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, I honestly can't say that I can't say that all our parents had our best intentions. But I can say that, like, a lot of the problems, okay, maybe not a lot. I don't know. Again, it goes hand in hand with, you don't want to blame everything wrong about you on someone else. But I think it's valid to say that a lot of problems you have growing up and long-lasting issues you have as an adult kind of stem from, you know, just an extension of the problems that your parents had. Your grandparents are the reason you're so chilled. Oh, dude, I would kill to have some chill grandparents. Let me tell you. Mine are kind of uptight. But I'm so happy that you had someone out there for you, you know? This is a lot more healing than I thought it was going to be so early on, but dang, Lily. Thank you. I know that you're speaking to Red specifically, but that really helps. Can't let the damage done to you completely become you. Gotta heal and grow from it. Related, but how am I? I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. I don't know. It's like a Friday. I'm having weird midnight thoughts in the middle of the day. Shower thoughts, I guess you could say. Maybe I should take a shower. I mean, I did, but like maybe I should have these thoughts in the shower as opposed to thinking, hey, I should stream. But yeah, sorry. Parents, am I right? I don't know. Like, early on, it definitely seemed like my parents were, like, pushing me toward, you know, just kind of all of their... Like, they were pushing all of their... Huh? Had to delete the custom models folder. Or film order due to an error in the program, and now has to erase every single thing added, by the way. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't realize Twitch had emotes. Or, like, well, you know, like, the command emote. Oof. I hope you're gonna do all... I hope you're gonna be fine, Ari. Ugh. That's rough. It's the me command. Okay. I never knew that. I've definitely been in that situation. I'll be good. You have to get back to the daily grind. Thank you so much, Lily. I wish you work. I wish you well at the daily grind. What are words? Vibes. Vibes are good. Basically, the short of it is that apparently, from what you gathered, one of the models you subscribed to for Source Filmmaker was causing an error. So you're on a racing spree. Ew. I used to do a lot of video projects, and as someone who is often not taken into account where files are located and let's say messing up in redirecting those files, yeah, that sucks. Yes, sometimes the only solution is to just nuke everything. It sucks in the moment, right? But you know, I've definitely been in positions where doing so helps the thinking process. Like, oh man, it's a good thing that happened because now everything is clear and clean and all located in the right areas where they should be, as opposed to the mess that I made before. I love After Effects, guys. I love it. It's amazing. Oh. Man. All right. Let's. Sorry. Let's. I was looking at something on Twitter. Let's go back to talking about childhoods. We can talk about something a bit lighter than how all 101 ways that our parents messed us up as kids. We can talk about, I don't know, the passage of time and how little moments in our childhood seem like monuments in the greater scheme of things. I oh, what's the word? I very did you all get forced into instruments or 4-H? 4-H. Hold on. What is 4-H? Oh. No, I didn't. I was actually talking about how I wish I got into an instrument, but my parents wanted me to be okay, so let me just say that it's a thing in the Midwest, okay. Um my parents were very much I here's the thing. I feel like I am I like having versatility. I embrace being good at everything, but not amazing, right? Like having a good grasp on all subjects, but being not really, specializing in one or another. My parents, the exact opposite. They wanted me to be a math kid. If they wanted me to be an English kid, I don't actually remember which one they wanted me to be at this point. But if they wanted me to do it, they would want me to do it to the best of my ability and ignore everything else. And probably not the best for a kid who was already kind of getting that big head of being the biggest fish in the pond. I don't think I am alone or special, let me tell you, when I say that I was pretty smart when I was in elementary school, and then everything after that hit like a truck because I thought I was so smart I could get away with not studying, and usually I could. I was someone who would research on my own about subjects on like the internet, and as soon as I found out what the internet was, and then eventually turns out teachers are necessary for that kind of thing to some degree. Because learning techniques is really hard. Then you were gifted, and then bam, 6th grade hit, and you failed everything. That is very relatable. Oh god, that actually hurts inside. It's like, I don't even know if I was horrible at everything. It was just, suddenly I'm no longer the top. Suddenly there are kids who are way, way smarter than I am, or, more applied. Now you're a year behind from graduating high school. We don't shame stuff like that, man. You're fine. It's fine. I honestly don't think school is for everyone. It sure wasn't for me. Like, taking notes, kind of thinking in those type of situations as opposed to, learning from doing. Okay, maybe a bit of my parents' practicality made itself into me, because every day I'm still kind of angry that they didn't teach me how to do taxes. They didn't teach me how to properly fill out an application. They didn't tell me how to act during an interview and not make a fool out of myself. Your first high school kicked you out permanently for being a legitimate problem child. Jeez. Like, I've definitely had a couple of people like that in... You're kicking walls and slamming doors and such? That doesn't sound like much of a problem, considering the horrors that, teenagers are capable of. You even threw papers at a teacher? You know, I guess that was kind of bad, but papers, like, I feel like you could have thrown much worse. I don't think you're a problem child, ARA. I think that's called being a kid. Like, okay. Whoever threw that paper, your mom's a hoe. Oh, that also took me back to teenagehood. Just seeing that written down. But yeah, you know, there's a lot darker places we could go, but I'm gonna go here. Yo, teenagers, they can say one thing to you, like a one mean insult, like just kind of off the cuff, and that lasts with you. Is this the Soaring Caster as an old man stream? Shut up, Kite. Welcome, Kite. I don't know, I just wanted to talk about how we get messed up when we were younger, and how that kind of sticks with us. Like, you know, like as a decrepit old man with my walking cane and pipe and my Sherlock Holmes hat, I don't know, what do old people do? What do old people wear? I feel like that has changed since I was a kid. Old people aren't who they used to be. Back in my day, old people were jolly and or mean, and they liked the radio, and that was it. That's all they did. Don't worry, Soren, we're all old sometimes. Old people wear jeans, white shoes, and polo shirts. Is that still? It was so chaotic they had no choice but to expel you back in 2008, from what you remember. Back in my day, old people killed other people in war. Yeah. Oh, that's the scariest thing now, right? Like, when people talk about being in the war, that's not that. Like, I don't think anyone from World War II still. Well, I don't know. No, that was like 80 years. Yeah, 80. Yeah, 80 years. No one's talking about that war. Well, I guess they didn't really talk about that war when I was a kid either. Back in my people, basically forced to stay home until a new school was found a few months later, and in many ways, way better. Dude, that's the thing. Like, I feel like newer schools tend to address these problems a lot better. Like they have the resources. Yeah, I guess Vietnam. You're right. Vietnam was also the other war that people talked about. Actually, that was probably the one war that everyone talked about, but I always forget Vietnam because for some reason they don't teach a lot about it in the textbooks. Weird. Anyway. I hear good things about, like, schools that are formed around, you know, like... Google says there's around... there's no commas in that, I can't read it. 240,000 veterans in America. Okay. You definitely did resent the school district board for a good while. That's the thing, right? Like, every time you would walk by or even drive by it, you flash them the middle finger. Like, okay, like, that is quintessential teenage behavior, right? Or, like, even adult behavior. Because here's the thing. No one likes high school. I feel like I'm just listing down a bunch of things about, like, things that messed you up when you were younger. Here's all of them. Did the military come to y'all schools? Yeah. You know, they do the recruitment drives and You had fun in high school. Granted, you almost failed, but you got through it. I get okay. Some people have fun in high school. I don't know. It depends. I feel like if things mess you up in high school, they mess you up for life. But yeah, the military definitely came. They did their recruitment drives. I don't know. It was always weird seeing people like that, like on campus. They, you know, there are obviously people who are into it. I wasn't. Like, you've definitely grown up and such, learned to let go of how you felt about them and just pretend they are non-existent. I've said it before, but like, sometimes not acknowledging problems is also a valid tactic of dealing with harmful memories and stuff like that. Facing things head on when you're not mentally prepared or ready can just ruin you even worse. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah. High school is whatever. They say it's the best years of your life, but honestly, I don't remember a lot of the people I hung out with. Like, I had that problem recently where I was trying to look up, like, a teacher's name. A teacher I really liked. So I looked through the yearbooks, I looked on the website, could not find them. It's like they didn't exist. Okay, I didn't look through the yearbooks because I didn't buy a yearbook. But, you know. Yeah, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find who they were. It's basically a case of, meh, I'm no longer in the system. Why do you even care? Not even your problem anymore. That's a good way of looking at it. Okay, it's like the old, it's like a advice I took from like I don't remember if it was like a Twitter post or something, but it's basically like, you know, high school, the education system is a system where one year you have to raise your hand to go to the bathroom. The next year you have to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. And I don't know if that, you know, applies to everyone's experience with it, but it definitely did in my case. And let me tell you, like, being treated as a kid one day and then an adult the next, jarring, confusing, and you know, I don't like, it's like there was a clear line there when in actuality growing up is a gradient, obviously. Just recently, one of your teachers had a miscarriage and the kid's name is literally the same name as me in the first. Oh, jeez. That's rough. First and last name, huh? I'm trying to think if we had... Yeah, that's a big yikes. Like, jeez. I can't even imagine going through something like that. And I can't. There's nothing really in my... Nothing really in my, like, history of... Have the video saved. Video? Jeez. That's rough. He was breaking the news to everyone. Oh, that's... God. The one thing you definitely remember from the first high school that you were at was, hilariously enough, your 8th grade science teacher. Okay, I await. I await the this. I await what comes next. Also, your dad's science teacher when your dad was in high school. Huh. That's okay. That's interesting because, you know, science is one of those things that like changes so much with the times. So, you know, hopefully they were a cooler older teacher who was like kind of okay with more recent developments in the scientific field. I assume they were if they were a science teacher. Science teachers tend to be pretty cool like that. Well, okay, well, they tend to. When your dad told you, you went, "What? You're just having a joke, aren't you? There's no way that you were what you told me is fact." That's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny coincidence, though. Like they still work there. What? Like, I don't envy teachers, right? They have it rough. Science teachers are cool, but what you said before, yeah. Like, teachers, instructors have it rough. Not really getting paid what they ought to be paid, kind of being put in a position of, you know, developing minds and dealing with the parents that maybe disagree with their development. Problem kids, so on and so forth. But it's also, you are being put in a position where you are influencing how these kids react, like, to things in their daily lives from here on out. It's a scary position to be in, and one of great, you know, responsibility. So, let's say if you get a bunch of teachers who don't know what they're doing or are actively harming students, or, you know, mentally, physically, be it what it may, like, that's rough. Like, you shouldn't be a teacher. Showed me his old yearbook, and lo and behold, your 8th grade science teacher was in that very yearbook. Like, they get bullied all day and then they barely get enough money to live. Yeah, it's... You know, heart goes out to all the teachers who are actually, you know, wanting to help out the next generation of young minds. But I don't know. I've met a lot of teachers who are not like that, who just kind of treat it as a day job, and, you know, I can't blame them entirely. The ones I can blame are the ones who, you know, are actively doing bad things. Be it, like, corrupting minds or otherwise. Because I definitely had a bunch of teachers like that in my life. Again, alright, don't want to make this a pity party, but I don't know. Yo. Be an adult that your childhood self would love to be around. That's the only advice I could probably give. Oh, okay. Man. Yeah, okay. So the reason it's a really... I was listening to, Who's this person? Who's the songwriter? A lot of, Kanzaki Iori songs. I think that's the writer or the producer. I don't really know how songs work. but I've been listening to a lot of their songs, and I don't know, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe actively listening to songs about being sad, not the best way of starting off the day. But, you know, it was in my recommended list, so whatever. They wrote, their song, is it Hated by Life Itself? Which, you know, I like, hard to listen to sometimes. Oh, a song I didn't think was gonna be hard to listen to was it? Hold on. What was it? It's such an obvious title. I should know what it is. Oh my god. Superman by Goldfinger. Their Tony Hawk theme. Sing it? Nah. I don't have a redeem for that, sorry. Oh, to remember it. Sorry. I remembered it. I don't need to sing it anymore. But yeah, their Tony Hawk Pro Skater theme, like, catchy, and basically, I would say the theme of the late 90s, early 2000s. Thank you for the hydrate. I will indeed hydrate. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's that song about what I used to think about being Superman, not about Superman. Turns out really depressing, actually. It's about a man looking back on his life, thinking how much time has passed by without him really doing much. And you know what? That's weird to think about. That this song I used to listen to all the time playing Tony Hawk was about that. It's one of those things that kind of only makes sense once you're older, right? I think in the back of our heads, we all know that these, you know, this media that we absorb usually has a bit more messaging in it than we can understand as kids, but we don't really get it. I watched Evangelion a bit recently. I watched that show, well, not live, obviously, but I used to watch Eva when I was younger, and you know, I think I along with everyone else at the time was very much like, oh, get in the robot, Shinji, stop crying, Shinji, so on, so forth. And I think now it's like, now that we live in an age where, you know, mental health is taken a bit more seriously, issues about, you know, trauma is more widespread. I kind of look back on it and I'm just like, yeah, I can relate to this teenager who doesn't want to get out of bed every morning anymore. Like, it's not too hard to relate to him now, as opposed to when everyone was shoving down your ear, you shouldn't. He's simple and weak. Like, you know, okay, this is a weird, this has nothing to do, well, it kind of has everything to do about what we're talking about today. Metal Gear Solid 2. People hated Raiden back in the day. People thought he was whiny and annoying. And how he was just emulating Snake, the true hero of the franchise. And how everyone wanted Snake back. I want to play as the big, cool badass, and not the whiny guy who just wanted to be the badass. Hey. Hey. You know what? You know what Kojima thinks about Raiden? That's you. That's all of us. It was intentional. You wanting to be the cool guy? That's what he thinks of you. And you know what? As annoying as Raiden can get sometimes, he's not a bad person. He learns in the end. Spoilers. But he grows. He's not this big loser that won't ever, like, grow past wanting to emulate the true heroes. He develops into his own person. He learns how to, truly be himself. Had a pretty awesome day yesterday. It's good to hear, Aori. I think I did too. Was it Thursday? It was Thursday yesterday. I think I felt pretty good yesterday after the stream. Like, that's the weird thing about having good days and having a good time in general, right? You can be going through the worst period of your life, right? But, one good thing to happen out of it is enough to kind of hit you in a different way. Your dad, your best friend, and you all went for a drive across the border and had lunch. Did a little shopping and had some ice cream. That does sound like a really nice day, actually. I'm so happy for you. I hope you got some good ice cream. Did you go to like a mall? I like malls. I think I've talked about malls, so I don't want to get into it here, but I find malls peaceful. I find them really nice. It's nice just kind of sitting down, getting some rest after a long shopping trip and just watching people walk by. Kind of like being on a train. Yeah. Sometimes I think that's why I do these streams. Again, I don't really like the idea of, like, pretending that streaming is a form of therapy. It's not. You really, if you need help, seek actual help. And if I need help, I should actually seek actual help, because streaming and talking about my problems to others does not I should not confuse it with actual I should not conflate it with actual therapeutic help. But sometimes you just need to talk about your feelings. Kind of let things out there. And whether or not it actually helps, I don't really know, but like whether or not it helps in the actual way that therapy does, I don't know. I just like being able to get things off my chest sometimes. I went to Cold Stone Creamery because they had that new Nintendo themed ice cream. Is it the Kirby one? Hold on. Ooh, nice. It is. Oh, I need to get some of that. Wait, Kirby, Mario Party, and Animal Crossing? Do I have one near me? Let me look. You opted for the Animal Crossing flavor. I mean, from what I'm seeing here, it looks alright. Oh, man. Okay. I need to look into where I could get one of these. Oh, they have one near me. Okay, never mind. That's good. Cool. Maybe I'll go later. Ah. This is a free talk for sure. My mind is free and empty. I wanted to go into this talking more about childhood, but now I'm thinking about malls. And I feel like that has some... Like, a lot of my memories when I was a kid are going on road trips with my family. Because before I lived in the city, I lived far away from everything. Did I ever get lost as a kid? Never for long. I got lost at a... Sorry. I got lost at a convenience store. No, that's too small. Like a department store? I got lost at a department store once as a kid, but it was one of those things where my dad found me pretty quick. He was angry, of course, but I'm very unsure of why he was angry. I'm pretty sure he was just in a bad mood that day. So it could have been me being lost. It could have been, I don't know. It could have just been other things were on his mind at that point. Yeah. If I ever had an opportunity to get lost, I feel like my family, I feel like my family would prevent it at any given cost. They were very protective like that. Still are in some aspects. Like I'm pretty sure my school was just a couple of blocks away, but they still insisted they drive me. Because, you know, things could happen. And, you know, things could have happened. But, you know, so things could happen every day. The more you close yourself off because of fear of possibilities, of just possibilities, just the potential for something bad to happen, I feel like the smaller your world gets. Suddenly, things that are so just easy to, like, go through become hurdles. All because you're only thinking of what could go wrong. And I'm not saying this like I have any advice about it. Like, sometimes I'm afraid to go outside. Sometimes, sometimes I walk around the neighborhood and I think about my potential to, I don't know, something bad to happen. And it's like I feel like the few things that I can think about, like, I can do nowadays, I am okay with, because for the most part, there is like a clear line in what is possible and what isn't, right? Like, I used to get scared as a kid. Oh, well, someone could kidnap me and I could get taken away. I'm not a kid anymore. If there are people out there around here, and I really hope there aren't, You're not looking at me anymore. Is that dark? It's probably dark. But, you know, true. I don't know. Like, I'm short. Sometimes I think about, like, would someone actually... Is there any possibility... Is there any possibility that someone would think of me as a kid? And potentially try to take me away? Like, would that be as simple as me being like, hey, dude, I'm not 12. Move on. Or maybe not move on. Maybe not move on. That's maybe a bad thing to say to a kidnapper. Oh god. Yeah, maybe not that. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm not as afraid of like talking to adults now because hey, I am one. We are on equal footing, my guy. Well, but talking to strangers is still a bad thing for me. Less so now. I feel like I used to be really afraid of talking to strangers as a kid, but now that I'm older, now that I am somewhat taller and they aren't looking down on me most of the time, you know, I generally believe people want to be nice to other people most of the time. Like, with limits, of course. Honestly, I think the weirdest thing about growing up is going back to what you knew as a kid and seeing how little it is. You know, physically, but also mentally. It's weird going around my old town and seeing how small it truly is. Banana, yo, Dasai, hey, what's up? But banana, what about the banana? What? Say hi, yo, hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream, Dasai. Talking about childhood, and you know, could be trauma, could be memories, could be whatever. We're just kind of talking about anything about being a kid, which we no longer are, but we don't have to acknowledge that. Oh, man. You're a 2-year-old. What are you talking about? There. If you're a 2-year-old, you're pretty good at streaming for a 2-year-old. You're pretty good at playing video games for a 2-year-old. I don't know any 2-year-old who can even hold a controller. And I've given many 2-year-olds a controller in my lifetime. I don't even know what that... Like, I feel like in my head that sounds weird, but I don't even know how that sounds weird. When I used to go to a lot of family outings, family get-togethers, and whenever there was a kid there, I always specifically remember, like, hey, I'm gonna get this kid into games. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I feel really bad about the one kid I got into games. Because he's, like, obsessed with them now. Speaking of ruining... I don't know. Speaking... more people to play games with. Yeah, that's right. I did a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. I felt nostalgic. And I wanted to talk about something that wasn't Ichi Sanji for once. But you know, I could still talk about Ichi Sanji. It'll sneak in somehow. I'm sure it will. Sorry, just coughing to clear my throat a little. Something a bit more lighter. We don't need to talk about how parents messed us up. We can talk about childhood interests. That, you know, just things that everyone did. You guys remember playing on the playground? You remember how simple life was? When they would, like, send you off to lunch and you would have, like, an hour to do whatever, but the only real thing to do was, like, use a slide or something. You liked watching spiders. Really? Huh. I could see that on the playground. Yeah. I knew a lot of kids who just watched, like, the nature, the life, the wildlife, quote unquote. We had, back when you were smaller, we had bees in our sandbox when I was in elementary school. Like, I don't know if there's a word for them, like a term, species. They're just bees living in the sandbox. Went around collecting tadpoles. Ooh, that is like, that is like so idyllic. Bees? That seems scary. It was. But we were kids, so we didn't know. Like, we were scared of buzzing, but I don't know if we were scared of the bees themselves. No one played in that. That sandbox sucked ass, to be honest. Like, I don't know, it's so weird to me that I can't even imagine being a kid anymore, right? Now that we have the internet, now that we have games, like, even back then, I was more of a game player than I was, like, a playground kid. But, sorry, just checking something. Yeah, like, yeah, right? Like, once you got your hands on games, you never look back. I can't imagine being a kid back then anymore. Like, only being able to just, like, yeah, you have an hour, go do whatever you want. It's lunchtime, kids. Like, what am I gonna do? Play on the slide? You took away my DS, my Game Boy, my Sega Nomad. I don't, dude, you could not bring a Sega Nomad to school nowadays. That would be confiscated as a weapon. That thing is huge. My DS, get back. I love my DS. That was probably my go-to console those days. Mostly because it was the go-to console for, like, what, a decade? Because, it got the DS and then the 3DS. This entire generation of DSs. First one was a Game Boy Advance SP. That's a good console. The clamshell design, the sleekness, the backlight, I think. Could easily be put in a pocket. Yeah, it was super portable. I loved my SP. I felt a bit sad that I didn't get to put all my accessories from the original Game Boy onto it. Because it was smaller. And it was basically your phone. What did I play on mine? Let's see. Yeah, like, I was someone who really liked the idea of, like, buying things to add on to your console. Like, like a magnifying screen, a light. But, the SP didn't really need those because it was already good from the box. Like, good out of the box. So I was, like, a bit sad that I couldn't, quote-unquote, upgrade it. But I didn't need to. It was perfectly fine as is. What did I play on my SP? I don't remember. A lot of Game Boy games were kind of a blur for me. Mostly because I don't think I ever had any good ones. I had Mario and Luigi, of course. Superstar Saga, right? Yeah, I had that one. That was probably the one good game I can remember playing. The rest were kind of like shoddy, like cartoon tie-ins, probably. It's one of those thoughts I have in the back of my mind of something that just stuck with me for no reason. I remember playing my Game Boy Advance in a dentist's office. And I was in the waiting room. And one of the adults who was also there, an older gentleman, I think, looked over my shoulder and was just like, "Is that Astro Boy?" And I was just like, well, "Yeah, I'm playing the Astro Boy game." My parents were in the room. It was, it was okay. And I was just like, "Yeah, it's the Astro Boy game on the Game Boy." And, they were very interested in, like, I was a kid. They talked to me for maybe a sentence before switching over to talking to my parents. Who, let me tell you, my parents are not good with talking with other people. Probably to get us back on track, probably where my problem started out. But yeah, that's like a core memory in my mind. Random dude looking over my shoulder, seeing I'm playing Astro Boy. Not knowing really what video games were, but knowing Astro Boy. Which is, probably interesting on its own. But yeah, that's something I recall very well. I also very much recall, like, going to a neighbor's house when I was, like, maybe 14. And, like, we were visiting. I had nothing else to do. Their kids were really young. I couldn't really interact or make conversation with them. So I just rested on their couch. And it was a really good couch, and I remember that couch years later. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that you just... I remember thinking at the time, too, like, I'm gonna remember this couch for years. And sure enough, I did. Our brains are weird. Get it? You remember the room you played Emerald in for the first time? It's weird what can become like such an integral part of our memories. Yeah, like, it's a weird one. I remember where I was the moment that Danny Phantom premiered on television. I don't know why that's something I remember. the Nickelodeon show, Nicktoon. So weirdly specific. Childhood memories. What a trip. You didn't know much about the show, but you remember the Danny Phantom game and playing it on your DS while on a road trip. I had that Nickelodeon, was it? The game where you take pictures. It's like, it's kind of like Pokemon Snap, but side-scrolling and Nicktoons, and it was probably not the best game, if I'm being honest, but it was a game I remember very fondly, I guess I could say. I don't know. Fond is maybe a bit giving it too much credit. But it was fun as a kid, and that's fine. Anything that took up time, you're right. Okay. Oh. But yeah, like I mentioned, since we're on that topic, I played a lot of games in the car when I was a kid. So a lot of my childhood, when I remember it, is based inside that car, looking out the window, and seeing a bunch of different sights, right? Like, one day we'd be at a mountain. The next, we'd be at the ocean. Another time, we'd be in, like, some random nice neighborhood that had a bunch of big trees. But to me, in my mind, it looks like, you know, an elven forest from all of those games I played or whatever. Got a bad habit of not looking up, though. Oh, really? Did you get car sick? I remembered I had to look up how to not get car sick, and I found out that it's usually, oh, because you were super into the game. Never mind. Like, it got to the point where our dad had to put like one of those little small TVs and hook up our consoles to it so that we could at least have something that wasn't us looking down. I think they were worried about our necks, right? Which is a weird worry to have, when the bigger worry should have been that we were at, like, these really nice areas, but we were just playing video games. But yeah, I guess that's kind of where the start of my love of adventure started. That's a sentence. It's funny because it wasn't games, it would be books for you. Oh, really? Reading books on a car? That's... I feel like that would... Like, I've tried. I feel like that makes me way more sick than playing games. That is a testament to your ability to, well, concentrate, I guess. But yeah. Do I like road trips? Yeah, I think I do. Going down that logic, yeah. But it's also kind of that Disney part of me, right? Like, I'm perfectly fine with going to amusement parks and not getting on any of the rides. I'm perfectly fine with going in a car and not really exiting the car, just going to cool places and looking out the window. I'm someone who can take in the sights, and that's enough to keep me going. As long as I get some good scenery. Oh, do I have a preference for, like, sights? I think oh, mode of enjoyment. Like, do you like driving around, seeing things, walking around theme park? I think I'm fine with driving. Like, okay, so I like walking around because I feel like that gives me autonomy. That gives me a chance to actually decide where I want to go. But, you know, being in the back of a car, looking out the window, that's kind of a enjoyment I've learned to have with myself. Like, I could go to sleep and just make the drive home after a long trip go by fast. But then I'd be missing out on, you know, seeing the sights, seeing mountains, seeing lakes, seeing so on, so forth. It's understandable, yeah. I saw someone tweet about this. I don't know who. It's been a long time. A long time. But, I remember seeing someone make a post that was just like, did anyone else, when they were a kid in the car, like, imagine someone running across the landscape, like, while the car was driving? And yeah, I did that. I used to imagine, yeah, with your fingers, yes! On the window! Oh my god. Like, it makes me feel a lot less weird. that other people had that thought, to the point where that post got a lot of like retweets, reblogs. I don't remember what it was anymore. You would always follow the guardrail. Yeah, like if there was a guardrail, you'd imagine yourself like either running along it or grinding on it. And yeah, little things, the little weird things that we can all kind of relate to, that you don't really think about, but once you say it out loud, man. I guess, you know, okay. I never really had sleepovers when I was a kid, and I would not care to have one then, because I would not have anything to talk about. Like, what has happened in my life at age 10 or 12 or 14? I'm not really one to talk about like things I enjoy with other people, because I feel like I just run out of things to say. Like, yeah, that was good, right? That was a cool part, right? I really like this, right? Like, part of my brain always wants to make it like an argument or like a discussion, and it's like, that's not really the situation for that. The only time you've had sleepovers is mostly to play games or binge an anime. Man, binging an anime with like friends over, man. I imagine that's fun. I don't think I've ever really done it though. Yeah, it's super fun. Like, I feel like it either has to be really good or really bad, because then you have something to either talk about, like, while watching. But if it's really good, then, you know, I'd be scared to talk. You've only done it a couple of times. It takes a special show to make it bingeable, right? Yeah. Like, but even though I didn't have sleepovers or like that kind of talks when I was younger, something I've always wanted to have nowadays, and I guess that's why I have save points. I talk to people about literally whatever's on my mind, and we just hang. If you're here, I'm assuming you want to listen. And that's cool. I don't know if it's cool. Yeah. I don't know. It's fun to just chill and chat. I've already talked about how I used to raid in Final Fantasy XIV, and how I would always be whatever about the raiding itself, but I would be so happy to just talk with people afterwards, to just hang out. And I guess that kind of filled the void of me not having a lot of sleepovers. You remember that, man? Classic lore right there. I don't know. Like, it's weird to think about the I put things in very specific eras in my mind. And there was a good era where there was just always a Skype call that was always on and people could join in. This is a long time ago, by the way. And yeah, you could just drop in, say whatever you wanted to say, and just hang out and leave whatever you want to. Kind of like chilling in Discord these days, yeah. Yeah. But I feel like there's, you know, back then it was a bit more free. We had a lot more time. And nowadays, people are busy. People are either doing their own thing, going to work, or, you know, just not in the mood to talk to people. Like, all the time. Out of curiosity, would I make a Discord server? I've thought about it every now and then. But I'm already part of so many other Discord servers, right? Like, it'd be fun to just have one on my own so I could talk to people about whatever I wanted. Like, I guess, I don't know. I considered it. I might even have one, like, in the back of my head. Or, like, in my pocket, really. Just a question. It's your community. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Maybe. I do want to talk to more people. Like, sliding into DM seems personal. Like, I know I can just talk to people, like, by DMing them. I get so nervous sometimes unless they make the first move. You get that? Yeah. And I'm also someone who, like, I don't know how to end conversations. I barely know how to end streams, guys. So, like, usually I try to, like, if someone messages me and we start a conversation, sometimes I'm fine with just letting a conversation drop. Assuming that, like, you know, we're both on the same page of, we don't have to keep this going. Or, you know, maybe I didn't see it. Or, I feel like any conversations online is a little weird because there's no, like, convenient, like, I gotta go somewhere. 1 second. And, you know, like, saying I'm going to bed. I don't know if that's, like, a normal thing to say in a conversation online, because it's like, what? You can just pick up the conversation whenever you want. I could be asleep for, like, a week. And then I'll reply, yo, hey, yeah, that anime was weird. I don't know. How low maintenance online like friendships, relationships, so on and so forth, like how those can be. It's like I embrace it, right? Like, we can me and literally anyone else, we could just talk and I could, like, not respond to them for months and it's fine. We're internet people. To some degree, we expect it. Like, it's like a weird thing. Yeah, you don't know about low maintenance. Depends on the person you feel. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I think it just means, like, because of the way we all communicate via online stuff like Discord. It's like it never feels like someone is far away or gone, right? I can just talk to someone whenever I want. Like, whether that green light next to their icon is on or not. Like, I could just shoot a message and they'll get back to me usually. Like, but I also don't expect them to get back to me immediately, right? It's like sending messages in bottles. The message can get across, but I don't expect a reply. At least within reason. I don't know. Also, the term sliding into DMs has been made weird by weird people. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, you don't know why it has to be weird. I just want to talk to people. I don't want it to seem like I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something, but it's like a conversation. Navigating friendship. Always a weird thing. Man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys are getting anything from these conversations we have, but it makes me feel better. Makes me feel good about just letting it all out there, letting it all hang out, as was the way people use this. I don't know. You're working on the side. Ugh. If I can bring chill vibes while also opening myself out to others, and you know, hopefully people like that. Personally, I feel like makes me, you know, like, I know it's awkward sometimes. It's hard to opening yourself up to others is like, you know, usually save for big friend, you know, like very close knit friends and significant others and, you know, what have you. But I don't know, it's kind of like my first reaction to meeting someone that I want to be friends with, right? Which is probably, you know, it's not like I trauma dump as soon as I can. But I like letting them know that, you know, I'm not a big... I'm not someone who is meant to be feared or stuff like that. As long as the person doesn't give you weird vibes. Yeah, like, I don't want to, like, dump all my troubles onto someone. I just want to make sure that they know I'm down to talk about this stuff if they're down too. Yeah, yeah. You get me, Dasai. That makes me so happy. Yeah. Oh, let me tell you, I've had some bad interviews, though. Some bad interviews where I was maybe a bit too honest, and let me tell you, I don't, you know, I guess it depends on the job. Maybe not a good way of getting a job, specific jobs, when I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm the best person for this position. Like, they always tell you to be honest. Maybe be honest about things that aren't so crucial to you getting that their employment, that their cash. Yeah, interviews are weird, man. Like, you know, you want me to be casual, you want me to act like I'm a normal person, but you also want me to be something I am not in order to hire me. Like, if you tell me to be casual, I'm gonna be casual. I'm gonna just talk about things. I'm gonna, you know, invite you to play Monster Hunter. Be honest on very specific things. Dodge everything else. Like the Valstrax is jetting for me. Oh, I just unlocked that, actually. I should probably fight it soon. Yeah. Oh, if only I had someone to teach me about stuff like that. Anyway. Derailing, but I have master rank here. Yes, yes, I do. I do. So, it should be okay. Okay. How about we end it here for now? It's a short talk, but, you know, a good talk, I think. Yeah, Valstrax should be chilled in. Yeah, yeah! I'll probably do that my next stream then. But, yeah, let's end it here. I think I've done enough venting. Get it? Because we were talking about the Valstrax, who's like a jet dragon, like venting, like exhaust, like, you know, you know, you get it. You guys get it. Anyway, I do have someone I want to raid. So, how about we raid a certain Kite Quaro? My pops, my creator, who is currently playing Eiyuden Chronicles. I think that's how you say that name. Kaiton Kite is indeed on. So how about it? Are we down? I don't know how these end, so I'm gonna do it. All right. Thank you everyone for coming. If you had something to say, what's the opposite of Quaranara? Quara. Oh. Saying good day is Konnichiwa. You know what? That could work. All right. Thank you everyone for coming. If you guys shared something about yourselves this stream, know that I very much am grateful to you. It takes a lot of strength and courage to open up about your problems, especially ones pertaining to, you know, parents and childhood and so on. It's personal, but I very much appreciate it. Anyway, let's watch Kite do some chores. How about it? Till next time, guys. I gotta bounce. Well, I'll see you there, so. How about it? Are we raiding? Are we gone? Wait. How does this work? Raid channel. Wait. It's Kite on? Kite should be on. There we go. Let's start the raid. See you guys there.